Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello and welcome to this bonus episode of Total Retail Talks. I'm Kristina Stidham, Digital Content Director of Total Retail, and I'm joined by Joe Keenan, Editor-in-Chief and your normal host for Total Retail Talks episodes. We're excited to discuss Total Retail's recently released 2024 Retail Technology Report, including key findings from our survey of technology decision makers from across the industry, as well as implications for retailers' businesses. So we've produced this report for several years now. Thanks for joining me today, Joe, to talk a little bit more about the 2024 edition.
Yeah, thanks, Kristina. I always enjoy the opportunity to talk about some of our latest research that we have out in the market, and this report being another example of that. So thanks for having me.
So to kick off our conversation, can you just provide our listeners with some context into what our retail technology report really encompasses?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that, Kristina. As you noted, we've produced this report on an annual basis and really have gotten to obtain some valuable year-over-year insights as we've produced this report. And what our goal is we want to learn more about retailers' current technology usage, including their future investment plans, as well as the decision-making processes that are helping to guide their tech strategies. So we are doing that through an in-depth survey. We produce and share an online survey with our audience, and we do that over about a 3 to 4 week period. We obtained a 200 plus respondents to the 2024 survey. And then the report really is what that survey is telling us. So there includes all kinds of info-rich charts and data, but it also shares analysis of really what the data means for the reader in terms of next steps and what they need to be thinking about when it comes to their technology stacks for retail businesses. So a lot of valuable insights to be obtained in the report.
So what are some of the key findings that emerged from this year's survey and that are included in the report that our listeners, if they download the report, they can get all this information?
So the first one I would call out is that more than 3/4 of the survey respondents, 76% in fact, said that their company's overall tech budget would be increasing in the next year, so 2025. So retailers are recognizing that standing still really isn't an option when it comes to their technology budgets. They need to continue to innovate and keep pace with their competitors, as well as attract the attention of consumers who are expecting these personalized tech-driven shopping experiences. The second call out I would make is that the survey revealed, and I don't think this is going to be particularly surprising, is that artificial intelligence is really everywhere, and that's certainly true within the retail space. According to our survey, AI is the technology most widely used by retailers today. 61% of respondents said they are currently using some form of artificial intelligence within their businesses. And then the last one that I'll call out is that investments in core operating systems are being prioritized by retailers. For example, the data revealed that 90% of respondents will be boosting spending on order management systems in the next 12 months. In addition, another 83% are planning to do the same for customer data platforms. This kind of exemplifies the investments retailers are making. I mentioned core operating systems, sort of these technology systems to help their operations, whether it be around inventory or the customer relationship through customer data platforms. So in addition to kind of the flashier, sexier things that we talk about with AI, it's really investment in core systems such as OMSs and CDPs that are also moving the needle for retailers.
Yeah, I think we've been hearing that more and more that people are realizing that they need to get the foundational systems updated and really highly functional, and then they can layer on the fun stuff like AI. I can't say I'm surprised by the data that you shared around AI and its adoption within the retail industry. More specifically, the survey uncovered some data around generative AI. So can you share a little bit more about that as well?
Yeah, I will. And I think you make a great point about sort of getting those foundational levels of the tech stack kind of buttoned up and operating at maximum efficiency, and then thinking about how can we introduce new layers of technology. And Gen AI is a great example of that. And we specifically asked survey respondents to identify what they believe would be the emerging technology that they think will have the biggest impact on the retail industry in the next 12 months. And Gen AI was that technology. So goes to kind of what we're talking about is that kind of that next wave of technology, Gen AI being a huge component of that. And then obviously there's multiple use cases for generative artificial intelligence, from marketing to merchandising, customer service, all these different ways that retailers are using Gen AI to help speed up processes, improve efficiencies, and then ultimately improve the experiences for not only their customers but also their employees as well. So the amount of time savings and then that translates into cost savings makes generative AI certainly a hot topic for retailers and something that they're proving they're willing to invest in.
Yes, very hot topic. And again, not surprising that it was a big theme of our report this year. I think it's probably the trend word or the keyword of 2024. So lastly, what I want to talk about is what the survey data revealed about retailers' technology buying processes. So that's another big portion of what our report covers. So can you share a little bit more about that?
Yes. So as you noted, we spend a significant portion of the report talking about the internal buying processes within retail organizations for purchasing technology. So not only are you getting the information about the tech that retailers are currently using, what they're budgeting for in 2025, but also thinking about how they're making those purchases. What the survey revealed is that cost is the number one factor that retailers are considering when they're making technology investment decisions. That was cited by 38% of respondents. Kind of the other key considerations for them include vendor support, which was cited by 20%, excuse me. The amount of employee training required for new technology, that was cited by 17%. Integration of new technology with existing systems, which was selected by 16% of our respondents. And then lastly, the time to implement a new technology system. That is a key, the number one priority or consideration for 9% of the survey respondents. And then the other thing that we, in addition to kind of those key purchase considerations, we wanted to know more about time periods as well as kind of the consideration sets when when retailers are making tech decisions, purchase decisions. And we found that for the most part, the majority of our survey respondents, they're considering 3 service providers for moderate to major technology purchases. And then I thought this was a really interesting. For 75% of respondents, those technology decisions, those major to moderate rather to major technology purchase decisions are being made in 6 months or less. So that speaks to the speed at which you need to continually be innovating and thinking about investing in technology. This can't, whereas it might have been 12, 18 months previously, this is happening in 6 months or less. So those are some really interesting data points I wanted to share.
That is super interesting. Just the speed of how fast things are changing. The report really encapsulates that. So it's really interesting information, not only for retail executives in our audience, but also the technology providers. This is really valuable for them to understand as well. So the 2024 technology report from Total Retail includes a lot more data and analysis than what we've covered here today. And it's a really valuable resource for our audience to check out. The 2024 Retail Technology Report from Total Retail includes a lot more data and analysis than we covered here today and is a really valuable resource for our listeners. So you can download the complimentary report at the link in our show notes or by going to mytotalretail.com/resources and finding it in our resource library. Thanks so much for joining us for this special episode of Total Retail Talks.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.